strengthen to 80 against the US dollar by the end of the year. How are the recent changes in Japan and the subsequent renewed interest in investing in equities there influencing money flows in the region?
Well, this has got a couple of implications for flows. First of all, one of the implications is that other countries which directly compete with Japan will find some stress on their currencies or on the competitiveness of the corporates. The most obvious candidate here is of course Korea, but there will be other candidates across the region as well which compete in different industries. We might also see flows from Japan, for example, into other countries, which is going to be an interesting phenomenon as well. ASEAN, I'm in particular thinking about. So there's got a couple of different implications for different countries. And it might mean that some of these countries need to reassess how they're going to address this. At the moment, I think a lot of the Japanese yen weakness is driven by foreign flows and by anticipation in changes in the BOJ monetary policies. And it might be that some of these countries are going to wait until we actually see what the BOJ is going to do after April, when things have changed there a little bit, maybe over the summer or so. And they get a clearer stance of what happens in Japan before they're really going to make some of these decisions.
Apart from the Bank of Japan governor announcement and the upcoming election in Italy, what other event risks are you watching out for?
Well, I think one of the risks probably throughout 2013 is actually that we're going to see quite good strength in the US economy, and that maybe interest rates need to move a little bit higher. And we might see indications of this coming through over the next couple of months through some of these announcements which you just spoke about. So that is one particular risk. I think another interesting feature is maybe what happens in particular countries. So we have some elections coming up. India, for example, the budget is later this week. That's a risk factor to look at. Indonesia is going to go through elections. Malaysia, or pre-elections, is going to have elections next year, but the campaigning starts in Indonesia. Malaysia is going to have elections later this year as well. So there's a couple of changes in governments which are a risk factor as well.
You're overweight China and underweight Hong Kong in your portfolios. Why the contrasting views?
Yeah, we did this actually, I wouldn't say deliberate, but yeah, we are quite positive on China. China underperformed Hong Kong in 2012. We think this is going to reverse in 2013. And that's really on the back of what we believe is going to be a decent economic recovery in China throughout 2013 and low equity valuations, while Hong Kong looks a little bit more stretched in terms of valuations. It's well owned. And as such, it's a better way to play China, MSCI China I'm talking about here, than MSCI Hong Kong this year.